Yeah, John, just before Ed Woodward had that position, there was a guy called David Gill who was a big friend of Ferguson's. They were very, very close. Ferguson was clearly making the calls in collaboration with David Gill, and that the closeness of that relationship and the trust in it it is very important, isn't it? I don't think that Woodward has that relationship, had it with Van Gaal or had it with David Moyes or even perhaps with Mourinho, but that relationship is hugely important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's key to success of the club. I mean, I think what the directors in my time and never trusted managers. They never believed in managers. They believed in managers being the employees, and it was very, very difficult for managers to get the power that was needed to be done. Shankly did it over a period of time. Ferguson obviously did it over time. So did Don Revie. But early on, they had difficult times. When Shankly first of all went to to Liverpool, they sold Johnny Morrissey without his permission. But he kept at it, and he got control with the success that he had. Now, in Ferguson's case, he had the ideal situation. The director of football now is one of the most important people in football. But it's okay having a director of football director of football in the club. If he's your director of football, and there's no doubt that David Gill was Alex Ferguson's director of football. In other words, he did what Alex Ferguson wanted him to do. Because just before him, they had another director of football who went to Chelsea. Do you remember, Eamon?
Yeah.
And they missed out about three or four.
Peter Kenyon. Peter Kenyon, his name was. Yeah.
Well, he missed out on about 3 or 4 players that I remember that he didn't get for Ferguson.
Right.
And Ferguson got him out and got David Gill, because the director of football is a great asset if he's your director of football. And there's no doubt Gill was Ferguson's director of football. Now, in Van Gaal's case, with Woodward coming in, I don't think Woodward is any manager's director of football. He's his own director of football. Yeah. And I think he's been the big, and Liam mentioned there early on, I think he could be the big culprit on the players they're getting in. For example, did Mourinho really buy Pogba for 90 million?
No.
I wouldn't be too sure about that, Eamon.
No, maybe.
Now, Mourinho has to go along with it, saying when he bought him, he's the complete midfield player. Well, actually, he's not the complete midfield player. And a couple of weeks ago, he said he was the best player on the pitch in the Chelsea match, when Kante was the best player by a mile. So I think Mourinho is backing Woodward up in some of these buys. Yeah, that's what I believe is happening there.
Yeah, Woodward comes from a marketing background, Liam, and it is said by people close to the club that he wanted a marquee signing last summer, and Pogba was the guy who was available, and Juventus took him for a ride. I mean, Pogba is not a 90 million euro player, is he?
No way. You know, we saw that in the Euros, didn't we? And,
yeah.
You know, we were doing the Euros, and what was that, a couple of, you know, and you know, John, yourself, and myself, we couldn't see it. You know, he's, as John said, he's not a complete midfield player. He's not a player who's going to orchestrate play. He's not a player that's going to run the game. He's not a player that's going to dominate midfield. He has skill up and around the box. But as John is just explaining there, Mourinho's having to come out publicly and say he is, you know, one of the greatest players in the world at the moment, and it doesn't ring true. It's foolish, really. And I believe John is spot on there about Woodward. I think he has a lot of influence in the players coming in. He probably has a team of advisors, you know, telling them that they're the best players left, right, and centre. But he has been taken for a ride in the money that he spent on these players, and whether he's got value for money or not, he clearly hasn't.